All right, you all, I want to welcome everybody to the Marvelism Implementation Session. This is Erica D. James, founder of the Alliance, and I'll tell you a little bit about how we got here, but I'm going to jump into my slideshow. Before we jump in, make sure, because I do have a topic today, it's about niching your market and working with social media to stand out. And so I'll actually go in and show you guys some of the stuff I've been up to. I'm in the middle of a launch of a culmination of 26 years of stuff I've been up to. So I'm doing this right here alongside you. Went to a training in Atlanta last week, so I even learned more. And it was fascinating because everybody at the training had $1 million plus business. And it was fascinating to see what each of them, from the dental industry to the financial wealth management industry to the marketing industry. It was so fascinating to see what each of them were doing with their Marvelism. It was so worth the road trip down to Atlanta. Plus, I got to see my daughter and my niece, so that just added to it. Sorry, y'all. I'm in the process of releasing weight. That's something I'm working on. So literally my shirt is hanging off me. So if you see me pulling it back, and so I'm not revealing all to you all. So let me jump in with my screen share and then off we go. All right. Quickly, as I'm sharing, a couple of updates are that I am now a few calls behind getting it up in both the Diamond Center and let me close this out. Y'all don't need to see all that. The Diamond Center for the Alliance members and YouTube. But I have some time this weekend to get it done. So I'll be working on that late tomorrow and Saturday. It's no longer as easy as just bringing up the, like loading up the recordings on YouTube, and then I share those. It is now, I have to go in and I've got to actually blur out. So it's a few more steps. So I apologize, but I will get those up. So welcome for those of you who are joining us for the first time, watching this video recording and here live. We are going to talk about the power of having a team of AI employees work for you. And I am beyond excited about this. That's really cool. I still look like my picture. I see my face and then my picture side by side. I love it. So for those of you who have known me for years, one of the things that I have nerded out about for the last 26 years is technology. And I got started when PayPal was still suspect because nobody had heard of it. I got started when there were no landing page or website sites. You had to write your stuff via HTML. And that's when I started to dig in because I needed to figure out, as a single parent who couldn't travel, I had this beautiful 5-year-old baby in kindergarten, how in the world was I going to still reach my goals and my dreams of being an internationally known speaker? And then, of course, God opened up this whole spiritual revelation piece to me that now it is blending seamlessly with things in the business realm. So I'm so excited about this, but I have been on this journey, asking, praying, requesting everything that I needed. And without fail, it would be a matter of months or sometimes years and the technology would come out. I remember I started on teleclasses. Remember that, y'all? Dial this and here's the code and mute out in the background. Started on teleclasses. And I remember going, I wish that we had a way that we could get on a meeting via video and see everybody's face. And here we sit all these years later on Zoom and other technologies, so much so that we have choices now, which meeting link we're going to go to show our video. So really excited about that. So yes, I've been completely nerding out about AI also, but there is a reason. 20 years ago, founded the Alliance as an organization to help highly called ambitious Christian women entrepreneurs achieve wealth. Period. That is what we're up to. It takes resources, time. It takes resources, energy, health, money. It takes all of these resources to fulfill our callings. And everybody in my circle, we are called to do huge things in the world. And one of the things we found is that over 95% of women-owned businesses, and I couldn't even find the statistic for Christian women-owned businesses, but we are making less than 100,000 per year. And we are solo operators, possibly outsourcing some accounting, taxes, bookkeeping, occasional marketing campaigns, trying to afford admin assistance. But if you are making less than 100,000, and last week I found a more specific statistic that the average woman-owned business makes $66,400. $66,400. So between 66,000 and 100,000 are what our businesses are bringing in. And that is not livable in today's day and age. You will have a hard time paying a team. You will have a hard time funding the scaling of your business. You will have a hard time paying yourself a decent salary from your business to cover your living expenses. Vacations, all of that stuff, savings. And so I had been looking and praying and looking for a solution to this issue. And one of the things we talk about in the Alliance is we've got a business model, and we figured out that there are 4 phases of business growth and scaling. And you start as that solo operator, which we call specialist. And then we've got to get you to development, meaning you've got a team. And I'm talking about a human team, y'all. And as soon as possible, because what happens if we don't nail it in a year to 1.5, maybe 2 years with businesses, it's discouraging to your soul. You are stretched, you are stressed, and you stay in a zone of overwhelm, where your expenses and your dreams are up here, but the reality of your revenue may be down here. And to be quite honest with you, I had not been able to solve that issue until I found Marbleism. And what we're seeing is businesses that are solo operators now being able to easily afford an AI employee team that will help them bridge this transition into having a human team and the team you need, and then having those team members work with an AI team to make them more efficient and operating in their highest and best use. And my best example of this is one of our longtime Alliance members, Tabitha Lewis, who is of THL Solutions, who is actually how we heard about Marbleism. She had been using Marbleism, introduced it to me October of 2025. I thought it was going to be a social media graphic automator. When I looked in and saw there were 6 employees, I almost fell off of my seat. And I remember stopping and just going, God, you've got to be kidding me. I've got to dig in and learn more. I immediately opened up my team. The rest is history. I am getting to stuff on my to-do list that I have been working for 3 years and not had the time to get to. I'm about to launch something that has literally been on my calendar for 3 years, and I haven't been able to get to it because Marbleism is helping. Marbleism, I also am the COO of my brother Nate's organizations. I've got all of his team using Marbleism, and it has been a game changer. It's giving us back and saving us about 10 hours per week in payroll. And you add that over 35 employees, it is making a difference. So that is really huge. So we have found a solution to this problem of all the hats that we wear. We are the CEOs of our businesses, the visionaries. This is where we should be hanging out 80% of our time. But no, we are still trying to get to marketing, working with our clients. We are the ones that are still we don't have a duplicated person to understand our process. We're our accountants. We're our CFOs. We are the ones handling the finances. We are the trainer. All of these hats we're wearing, and it can just leave us feeling overwhelmed. And so I'm so excited to introduce to some of you, to remind others of you who were, you were like, oh, Eric, I'm getting on this. I see the potential, but you have not had the time to stop and properly onboard your team. I want to introduce you to your Marbleism team, and they will be growing soon. But right now we've got Eva, your chief of staff is really what she should be called, because I now run just about everything through Eva. And when Eva started, she did not have the ability to talk to the other team members. So you've got Eva, you've got Sunny, Penny, Linda, Stan, and Rachel. And I'm right now, to be honest, I'm still beginning to onboard my Rachel. I've done it in my brother's comedy club. It's been spectacular. Take a picture of the screen if you have not already, because there's so many things beyond just their title that these resources and these team members can do, and you literally train them. So yes, Linda looks like your legal assistant, but she can also do a lot more. I've got some research for my brother's club around the health department. As soon as I get off there, I'm going to send Linda off on that. What I have found is remedial tasks that are taking me about an hour, research, writing. It's about, for an hour of my time, it is translating legitimately to 2 to 3 minutes of the team's time. So much so that they just stay ahead of you. And what I mean by that, we know there's a ton of AI agents coming out right now. And one of the things that I know about Marblism, which has been amazing, is they're not just agents that we're building. They're actually pre-programmed with 120 equivalent PhD equivalents. And this is Ulrich, the founder of it. And this is a little lopsided picture I took when I was back at the Marblism conference in April. And the crazy thing is, y'all, he said that it is beyond, he wanted to go beyond what agents could do. And what he did is he solved the tremendous irritant. If you've ever had a team member, what do we say as entrepreneurs? Because we can see the gaps. Well, the average employee can't. And so we end up going, why can't they take initiative? Why can't they be 3 steps ahead of me? I can do it better than what they're doing. How do we get them better than what I'm doing? And so he created them to get better every day. They study you are the knowledge base. Every night, their memory updates, and they are ready and better tomorrow. And he calls it dreaming. That is critical, because if you have been with Marblism every day, you're getting reminders. Hey, I wrote this blog. What about this? Where are we with this? They're keeping us on point and ahead of us. And so my wonderful challenge now is to keep up with my Marblism. I love it. So I want to let you guys know they have recently changed the pricing has not changed. What has changed is that they had to put walls around what you all get. And I've been telling those of us that are new to Marblism, I'm like, sign up. They're not limiting workspaces, which is really cool, but they are limiting by the hour now. So every plan, which is really, they just have monthly and annual, but every plan has now 50 hours of aggregate work. So across all your workspaces, if you're new to Marblism, if you've been with Marblism for any amount of time prior to, I think it went live last week, this does not apply to you. You are grandfathered in forever at the level that you came in at. But for those of you who may be sharing it, it will charge, and there's a new tier, and I'm so sorry I could not get the answer that I needed to be able to tell you guys what the tier upgrades to, but I knew they were going to have to change their pricing model because they were doggone giving this thing away for free. But there is still unlimited businesses you can run through your workspaces, all of that stuff, and unlimited team members. So they did not shift that. I'll be finding out more. I apologize. I just didn't have time this month to set up the onboarding appointment that they told me to, and they just responded to my email late last night. So the pricing does not change. We have a 25% off referral fee in the Alliance. It regular $44 a month or $288 a year. We actually get you down to $33 a month, $213 a year. And we have an additional 25% off if you use, it's not on here, you guys. Sorry. If you use the coupon code Alliance. All right, let me see if it's on here. I can't see that. Oh, I didn't. Okay, hold on. I'll put it in the chat in just a moment. So let's keep going. I am absolutely thrilled. Every week, my Marblism gets better. I learn new things about it. They're going to be adding new agents. There's a CFO coming. They want to transition from just saving us time to actually closing deals and bringing in money with the CRM, a website, landing page creators coming that actually can change landing pages based on who visits your page. That's crazy. The other thing that's coming, they're going to set up back-end Zapier links. So one of the biggest requests we get is that's great that Eva or Linda or Stan can do things, but they talk to my CRM that I use off Marbleism, and they will be able to do that very soon. So I'm really excited. I'll be jumping on a call tomorrow to find out more. So I'll keep you guys updated. Every Thursday, you are welcomed. Invite people, even if you're in the referral program and you've got other people. I don't mind having people here. It's such a powerful tool. I'm thrilled about it. Here's the link. I'll pop that in the chat as well, so you have the live link. The only catch is that you have to sign up every week, because I'm changing topics, and the Zoom link changes every week because my backend system changes it. So you can't go into last week's link and get this week's. So let's dig in, y'all. Let's dig in, and let me stop this. Actually, let me stop this screen and get into my Marbleism. All right. There we go. Here we go. We got it. All right. Before I do that, you guys are going to see everything here. Before I do that, what I want to do is pop these things, as I promised, into the chat. All right. So and this is I'm going to show you guys all my little back-end secrets. I do not looking things up twice. So I use my notepad. I'm an Android user. I use my notepad like crazy. So here's my Marbleism cheat sheet. Everything is here. I'm going to show you guys. These are all the topics. Let me see if I can't open this up a little bit more for you guys. These are all the topics we've talked about. I started this April 30th. We are now on July 2nd. So we're going to be talking about delegating next week. The following Thursday, building your AI marketing system. I want to circle back around that. Email marketing, it can handle all the thinking for that. Content repurposing, how to turn one idea into 30 posts. Your AI marketing hub. AI operations. So I've been thinking about really deeper things that we can take deeper dives in. And if you missed any of these prior to this week, I'll be getting them up ASAP in our Diamond Network, if you remember, which is our private social network, or in the YouTube. So let me grab my other stuff. I keep everything in here so I don't have to think. All right. This is what we want. And then I will also pop in the chat. You guys get to see everything here. And it doesn't matter if you have my previous link. I just wanted it to be for the Alliance, because that's what we use it for. And we recycle any referral dollars we get to Alliance overhead. And then I'm also going to post up for you guys the link to continue to come back. I just got everything updated yesterday. Let me see here. I got everything updated yesterday through July. So you guys are welcome to just lock that link in and just remind yourself to come in on a weekly basis. I do send a reminder out to the Alliance, but you're welcomed. All right, y'all. Let's talk today about niching down and standing out. Did you guys get that? The hand clap, the standing out. It's really important. There's some key things I want to talk about that I learned at the Atlanta training I went to week before last. That was spectacular. And then I will let you guys ask questions. We'll have time to do that as well. So one of the things, there were 3 key learnings that I took away. The first was that I was not spending enough time with my AI team, and I was not treating them like you would onboard a real team. So if you have a human person starting, and yes, we have to make that distinction, but a human person starting to be your chief of staff or executive assistant, you would spend some significant time with them, walking them through your business. And one of the things that all 3 business owners shared at the training was they spent a lot of time, several hours, an hour a day, whatever it took, onboarding each of their team members for each of their workspaces. So that is the first thing. So if you have not blocked out time to onboard and you've got this incredible army of workers waiting to help you and you have not had time to execute and get your stands onboarded, all of that. And I tell you what, you guys, I am guilty of that. I'm still onboarding some of my stands, but I'm tired of myself talking about it. So I'm really going to dig in. It's been a lot to COO my brother's 5 companies and my 3 companies. So I'm just catching up, I feel like, in that. But we need to get these things working for us. One of our trainers at the conference, she just due to Marbleism and Stan going out and getting sponsorships and grants for her, she's brought in over $200,000 just from training her AI how to do grants, which we talked about last week, and sponsorships, which I talked about several weeks ago. So this stuff is real. I have another gentleman, he shared how he works with dentist office for the legalities of it, so that he can save money from insurance companies. He uses Linda. He has been able to save each of his companies he works with on average $40,000. That's crazy. So take time to meet with your people. Treat it like real team members. And in the Alliance, we teach that on Monday mornings, you need to stop and do your L10 meetings, your level 10 meetings based on the entrepreneur's operating system. They call it a level 10 because there's a real efficient agenda you use. But are you meeting with each of your EVAs? So imagine you're in the office Monday morning, you open up all of your EVAs and look, I have 12 of them. I think my husband added another one. And by the way, my husband is the least technical human being, second to my sister, that I know. And they are both in Marbleism. I am coming home now, and my husband he has worksheets printed out, and it's crazy. He's like, yeah, me and Eva, we got this. So it's spectacular. I'm so proud of him because there was so much resistance. I'm like, hun, this thing is going to change your life if you would just take a few minutes to learn. And so you still have unlimited workspaces, but what should be happening, and remember the original one is at the bottom. So I need to be walking through each of my workspaces and explaining to my Eva what needs to happen in that aspect of my business this week. Tell her what meetings are coming up. Tell her, well, she should know what meetings if you have your calendar onboarded, but let her know you need this many social media posts, this many articles, this many whatever it is, and go back and make sure I didn't miss any emails and, whatever it is. And each of these workspaces communicate independently. I'm starting to see that they're dancing together a little bit more, which is interesting. So if you're experiencing that, just put in the brain what is for what workspace. So that's important. All right. So L10 meetings, number 2, make sure every Monday morning you are going through your EVAs. You may find that your Monday mornings are too hectic. Do it Sunday evening, or if you Sabbath on Sunday, Saturday evening, but do it before you step into the threshold of office mode. That's the key. And so you're walking through and it actually gets you thinking about, wait, what needs to be produced in my business? What social media posts? What are we moving on? And if you've uploaded any strategies or anything, like where's my post? Where's my stuff? I have Penny writing all kinds of stuff for me, from our internal Alliance social network to LinkedIn articles and all kinds of stuff. And they are excellent. So that's number 2. Number 3 thing I learned in Atlanta is each of your workspaces have a team. So if I'm working on the AI implementation team, they have a different role than my Convergence Center team or my Launch of the Impossible Circles team. One of the big takeaways, this was like one of those little mind-blown emojis at the training. Everybody, well, 2 of the 3 trainers talked about how they tell their team members what their role is. Forget that Marbleism calls Sunday your social media manager. You may need him to be your social media strategist. And you may say, and you're responsible for converting X number of posts or whatever it is. Here's the thing. They were uploading job descriptions for each workspace member. I hadn't done that. I hadn't been able to teach you guys that. It was like, oh my gosh. She's like, you have to tell them what you need them to do. It would be the equivalent if you hire somebody without a job description and expect them to know. And that's what we've been doing with our AI teams. At least I was. And so I have been getting job descriptions and posting them. I do it for all of the hiring as COO for my brother's organization. I have gone in because he had people placed without job descriptions. Guess what? I hadn't done it for my AI team. Here's the thing. Have Linda do the job descriptions. This is the team. This is what I need. You can even tell Eva's your chief of staff. Eva, I want to be able to have every person in this team. This is the goal, and this is what I need this team working on. What job descriptions do I need to give each of the team members? Have Linda write them, or Penny. Penny can write too. So that's something, you guys, I'm still having to go back and do. But whatever workspace you're in, give them job descriptions. And it'll take a little bit of time to do that, but put Eva to work. Do the job descriptions and then add them to the brain, Eva, for each one, for Sunny, whoever. And so then in the brain, what you would do is you would upload those job descriptions, and then you would, when you upload knowledge, you would just say, okay, if this is just for Sunny, because you need it to be remembered, not just in the guideline, but the knowledge. You would add the knowledge, and then you can tell it who it's for. And I would always leave Eva on, because even if she's not checking your emails, she is communicating with your team. Okay. So that's really, really important. There's a couple other things I learned. So job descriptions were key, spending time, having L10 meetings, or having meetings with your Evas every week. The other thing that they talked about was story. This is really critical. We kind of alluded to it a while back, but they were like, is your story in the brain? And I was like, no. Like, I did upload my books. So if you have books, if you have articles, if you have YouTube videos, if you have, which we all have content, make sure it's loaded in the right workspace brain. That's really important. And the right website is activated. But then what is that business story? And I've been working on my story for a while. What are some benchmarks from your life? Last week, or the week before, one of our frequent attendees shared an AI. I looked it up to show you guys. It's an AI story. It helps you tell your story. So mystorypro.ai. It's a paid platform. If you need help, I have been utilizing the Moth, because I love listening to story podcasts. So this is how to tell a story. We've got Valeria Elliott in the Alliance. For those of you who need to plug in with her, take one of her storytelling, and it's walking you through. And I've had to really be challenged to tell my story. So I also got a little card deck, and I pull a card, and it says, like, I'm going to give you guys an example. So destiny is the topic here. Tell us about a time you tried to avoid the inevitable, a moment of divine intervention, a time everything seemed to be all mapped out. And it helps you think about your story. What are the important benchmarks of your story? And load it in the brain. You can write it in Word, or you could even talk it to Eva and say, hey, Eva, clean this up. Because everyone now has a voice recordability. It used to just be on the app, but you can now do it. You can upload PDFs, whatever you need to Eva, but you want to take some time to tell her your story. So if you, like, for example, why am I starting the Impossible Circles? What's my story behind it? Then the direction you give them always says, hey, use my story from the brain to create a 5-email sequence for Stan to send out to sponsors. And I realized it's the story that stands out. And so when we're talking today about niching down and standing out, the first thing you've got to do when you're serious about that is tell your story. Load in your books. Make sure your headshots are in. This is really critical. One of the things I've been working on, I'll do it in the Impossible Circle since I'm about to launch that. this week, literally. So I uploaded my books, all of the recordings I had over 20 years on the impossible, and realized I've been doing this work for a minute. And Sunny started to go through and pick and choose, some of the most zinging images I had. So the impossible circle. Belief is defined as 100% certainty. You know that you know that you know it is done. Boom. I told it, use this image. Do not change my face. Do not change my body. Loaded the image into the brain. And now I've got, I can do this. There's the caption, but because I haven't put my story in, I'm actually going to put my story into the impossible circle. Why am I doing it? How did it start? And so I'm going to say, use my story now on every single caption. And Sunny will go back and write them. Keep the pictures the same, but rewrite the captions utilizing my story that you'll find in the brain. And what I do in the brain is I actually copy the exact title of whatever document or thing I want them to do so they don't have to struggle in what to find it. Another little secret, if I start chatting and I shift over to the brain, I'm going to lose my chat. So I always, always, always save my chats. I use my notebooks a lot, or my note pages. So here's chat tape. That's not what I want. But here's this. So this was a chat I was having with Eva to help me outline what I was going to go over today. But I needed to jump over to the brain because I didn't remember what picture name I wanted her to use. So I just put it in my notepad. And now I'm starting to write them in the notepad, and then I pop them over, because the minute you chat, and let me show you what I mean by that. Let's say I'm chatting with Sunny here in the chat, and I'm writing something and it's good, but I'm like, oh man, what's the name of that document? I can't just click over to the brain, because guess what? You're going to click back over and it's gone. So that's what I'm saying. Copy and paste it, and just keep a list of your commands, because you may need the same one across all your Sunnies in your different workspaces. So that's a quick little hack that has really been helpful for me. So here's my impossible circles. I want to show you the brain. I put up past images. I put up the logos, whatever I need it to work with. I'm still loading up the story and different memories. Here's an audio I put in there. If there's another trainer talking about the impossible I want it to quote, put it in there. Put it in there, you all, so it has information, and your captions can now be niched to your story, because that is what's going to make you stand out more than anything else. If you are doing this for your employer, make sure the employer and the story of the business is inside the chat. And it could be a work in progress, but I would just take some time to just talk to your Eva. If your boss doesn't have a story, make sure the bios are uploaded. The bios never tell the stories. Interview your boss once a month and get some. You can have Eva come up with some story prompts. You don't have to order the moth cards or whatever. There's so many free story prompts, free storytelling things out there. Interview your boss. Interview yourself and just talk about this story, and let Eva add it to the brain. And just say, hey, Eva, can you add this to the brain? I would copy and paste it, just double check that it's there. My story about overcoming X, Y, and Z. So then you can say, hey, anytime the brain says story in a title, use everything in the brain to come up with my email series so Stan can share the story. That Penny can write the blogs about your story. Sunny can be adding it into the captions. Very, very critical. It's going to be a radically different experience from somebody receiving an email from you if that storyline says, I thought I was going to die. Or something like, oh, introducing myself or upcoming conference sponsorship opportunity. The human curiosity is a huge thing that's going to open subject lines. So challenge your team to get it right. Take my stories, write the most compelling subject line you can find, and then have Stan upload that in the Stan. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm actually glad some of my Stans haven't been onboarded, because I don't have my full story in there. So now that I have everything I need, I always laugh. I'm like, God's timing is perfect, even when I think I'm behind. So that is key to niche down. The other thing you want to do is tell your Eva in every workspace what the goal is for that workspace. Tell her how many people you want to reach. Tell her how much revenue you need to make in the timeline you need to make it. Tell her your big impossible goal for that team to execute. And then you can tell her, write the job descriptions for it. What team members do I need? What team titles do I need each of the team members to function like? So Penny may say blog writer by the system, but she is going to be an article writer for you that you can copy and paste those into LinkedIn, or because you can't, Penny can't post directly to LinkedIn, but you can copy and paste and have it done. Or you might be able to train your AI people to do that. I would have to ask one of the gentlemen at the training how he does that. But if you have to copy and paste, imagine if you're in your Penny and there's all these blog posts. Look at that. This is so funny, guys. These are some pictures it made of me. I'm like, ooh, that's what I look like 30 pounds lighter. Okay. So anyway, took my picture. It does pretty good. It's a little scary. That's an actual picture that was that's a real live picture. And I'm going back now being like, hey, put my body size on this image. But that's a picture it did. It's a pretty good one. You just have to, again, watch the fingers closely. But let's say I go put this on LinkedIn. And what I've been doing is just taking small sections of it and making them into posts. Over here, Sunny has the social media posts I need, but I may want some more things in there. So I'm really toggling between Penny and Sunny really powerfully. So these captions have stories in it. So that's the key, that you want to niche that way. And then guess what? You are telling the story to your market more specifically. You can line up 1,000 speakers. You can line up 1,000 accountants, 1,000 coaches, 1,000 candle companies. But what is going to set you apart is your story, your why behind what you are doing. And so we've been talking about this for years, but I want you to understand, I want your team to understand your why. Do they know why you started your business? Does your team know why you were so passionate? Does your team know what your values are? We would train a real person with those things, but we are falling short, at least I am, of training my team in what they need to be doing. Do we have good headshots we like? If not, even Canva can change the color of outfits now. That's just a trip, y'all. And so you can have Sunny keep the same exact image, but change this suit or this outfit to this, or put me in a jean jacket with a white tank top underneath it. Don't change my body type and cheat my face and keep my body the right size. You have to be very specific. So if I want to change this, all I have to do, and I love everything but one thing, maybe I want a different logo. You want to right click on it, save the image. And then when you go to the chat, whether it's Eva, Sunny, or Penny, whoever is doing your graphic design, you want to say, take this graphic and add this. Do not change the copy. Only add this. Keep the same picture. And then you have to attach. Otherwise, it's going to keep creating new images and you will get very frustrated. All AI does that. That's not just Marbleism. Tell it, take this exact image and change X, Y, and Z. Where it says A, you want it to say B. And I put it in parentheses. And I've been able to nail stuff down to a sentence that I need to be changed. But you have to add the image. I have a Marbleism folder in my picture, so all of my pictures are saved. So I can just click on it and tell it, you can upload up to 10 files now. And here's all my Marbleism images. And if I want, this image, but it doesn't have the Marbleism, it doesn't have my Alliance menu or a logo on it, keep everything in this image, but change XYZ, take this out and put the logo in. And then it will know what to do. So that's really key. I've been hearing people getting frustrated about the graphics taking too long. That's the key to that. And so you're adding your pictures. Sunny now knows your quotes in the book. Penny's using your story. Now we're niched down, and now we can begin to actually get our social media together. One of the things I talked about, give it a theme. Put in your brain that every day, every Monday, I want to post about this. Tuesday, I post about that. Wednesday, I post about this. And then tell Eva, I only want to tell you one time. I need you to put this in your brain and remember. Every day, make sure the team is creating the post, the blog post, or whatever it is about in this order. So once you load that up, I call them your social media themes. Guess what? They have it. And now Sunny's like, hey, it's Tuesday. Here's your theme for today. And I've done all of your blog posts. Your social media posts. Another thing that I do in the brain is I'm like, when I say make my social media posts, I mean every time you want to make a post for this platform, and this platform. And they aren't able to load directly up to YouTube. And so I do have them write my YouTube stuff. And then right now, I'm literally going back, and all you have to do to schedule it, once the caption nails your story, which I wanted to add more, drag it and hit publish. That's it. Or you can, once you save it, you can publish. I can disconnect. I don't use Twitter. It's not connected anyway. And if they're connected, you'll see a green dot here. Or you can copy and paste these and put them on wherever you want them. I tell you guys every time, I save all of my images because I use them everywhere. I have a distribution for my email that I'm now in the process of finally being able to load up with this stuff. So every day stuff posts automatically. I don't even have to schedule. That's meetedgar.com if you're interested in that. But they all work hand in hand. Hopefully when Zapier comes, I can zap these over to a particular group in my Meet Edgar. That would be really awesome. But in the meantime, guess what? Didn't have to hire a graphic designer. Didn't have to hire a copywriter. It's all right here. I love this picture. This is so fabulous. The Impossible Circle. A woman at her desk, like cheering. And this is something. So this is really great, y'all. I have it trained to put a mini chat link in there as well. So I got to make sure my mini chat's set up. But just right click those images because you can use them. So make sure you're now automating your posts. And you can tell Eva, hey, Eva, tell Sunny to get these posts for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or one post a day, and tell him to publish them. But she will say, are you sure you want him to publish them? And they will publish them without you checking. So what I do is I tell her to create them. I like to put it in the drafts, and then I can schedule them out or have your team member schedule them out. That's really important. And we're working on video coming, you all. It's not here yet, but I cannot wait until we'll be able to do video. If you're frustrated with video, check out opusclips.com, O-P-U-S clips, .ai, because it will take long form video and cut it up into beautiful AI segments you can post right there to your social media as well. The only thing that they allow us to do here is to, if you want to add media, it can only be 25 megabytes or less. That's a 30, probably 15 or 60, maybe 45-second video. So anything beyond that, you have to do kind of manually instead of this. So this image right here, love it. I love it. The impossible circles in the background, whatever's written on your heart becomes the instructions to the heavenly realm. Oh my God. That is one of the biggest revelations. I didn't tell it to do that. Sunny chose it from my book. And it is the biggest revelation in that particular book. Let me put that out. Let people see that on social media and be like, oh, wait a minute. I've never heard that before. So that's the power of being able to niche and have stuff on LinkedIn. If you are not on LinkedIn and you haven't built your LinkedIn out, this is the perfect chance. Get Penny writing some more blogs for you that you can copy and paste on LinkedIn. And all you have to do save the picture, isn't that cute? Save the picture, right click on it, and then you can just copy and paste it right into your LinkedIn, and it can be a newsletter that you are feeding your target market. That is the other way you want to help yourself niche out. Another way, Stan. Actually, this one's not onboarded. Let me find one that's onboarded. Alliance. So my Stan is onboarded, getting all these leads for me. You can actually add in your sequence the ability to tap into LinkedIn, send a LinkedIn invitation. So then you can say, hey, I just posted this on, add a new one in the sequence. I just posted this article for your review. And now you're standing out. You're niching yourself when you are marketing, when you're having Stan market. And it was fascinating because the woman, her name is Ty Woods, by the way. But all she does is go help nonprofits and businesses find grant money. And I was like, certainly you have another back end. If Stan's getting all these leads for you, do you use the CRM? She's like, no, Stan does everything for me. I was like, fascinating. And she has Go Higher Level, which I have Kartra, but she's like, no, Stan does it all. And so send that invitation. Then you can add a new step. What's the invitation sent? To send a message. So Stan can also send a message. You can do a total LinkedIn communication if you want to. I have another tool that automates that, but man, Stan can start doing that for you. So don't feel like it's just email. Have Stan meet your people. Oh my goodness, I just got an email from them. Now your name's starting to be familiar, even if they don't open it. And now they saw you in their LinkedIn inbox. And now they see your LinkedIn being fed. That's another way to uplevel your niche and your creativity. And you are having them write articles, them being Penny, write articles for your niche that other people aren't doing. And you can tell her, I want you to write stuff that other speakers, trainers, product creators, whatever you do, are not really talking about. Write about what's happening behind the veil. Whatever it is, give them guidance and saying, I want you to produce all of these every day. And you can tell her because every day she's up here deciding, giving you ideas, say, no, I don't like that. Focus on this. And then you can add it to the guidelines. Here's the image style. Here's what I don't want you to talk about because everybody else talks about it or do talk about it. Another way to niche down and stand out, you all. And I'm assuming you know your target market intimately. You know your niche. You want to narrow down what you're doing. And I really want to challenge you all to be thinking about, what do you want to be known for? I've been reading an amazing book called The Science of Scaling. And it's like, out of all the things you're doing, you cannot scale something that's complicated. So if I am a speaker, author, trainer, consultant, TV talk show host, and founder, I need to lean in on one. And I'm clear my one is the alliance, and the impossible circles get people ready inwardly and outwardly to then build what they're called to build. And it took me sitting down and just getting clear about it. What that meant is some of my other goals had to go. Because in order to be a speaker in the top 1% of speakers, which I have wanted to do for years, guess what? That would involve going to speak to corporations. That would involve all this stuff. All I am building is a international membership of ambitious Christian women to have the training they need to build wealth through their businesses. That's it. So I can no longer take a speaking engagement that is not in that niche, in that success pathway. And the same author of The Science of Scaling wrote 10x is easier than 2x. And what that means is if you blow up your goal and reduce the timeline you think you need to achieve it, and you use time as a tool, something amazing happens. You begin to narrow down the options of what you need to do, and it goes from 10 or 20 different ways you can do it to one. And so to niche down, you want to get clear about your one. Tell your team what you're leading with. Yes, you've got workspaces to do other stuff, but it all needs to be building that main thing. That's really critical. And it doesn't mean you may still have coaching clients or whatever else you may be doing, but build out that main thing. Niche yourself out and tell your team how to do that. All right. And then they talked about making sure, in my outline I have here to remind you guys, you're not talking to the masses, you're talking to the one. So I always tell my team to create compelling, personalized stories and emails or whatever that is. You don't want to sound like you're talking to a whole industry. Talk to the one. Talk to that manager that's struggling with time. Talk to that individual that's struggling with leadership, with self-esteem, so their leadership struggling in the workplace. Whatever your topics are, really press your team to do it. And imagine if you've got all of your workspaces doing this. They are niched out to whatever that particular niche is. And I have learned you want a separate workspace for each of your target markets. For example, the Alliance is about building for ambitious Christian businesswomen, but I've got a whole sponsorship thing here happening. That's a different target market inside of that niche. I need a different workspace because I need a different stand. I need Penny to focus on different types of articles. I need Linda to write different types of job descriptions or legal contracts or whatever I need. I'll do a training on Rachel as soon as I get my Rachel onboarded, but it is staggering how much you can train her to answer very specific questions. And one of our members trained their Rachel, Sabrina, because she was like, the phone drives me nutty. I don't want to return calls. I don't want to pick up the phone. She couldn't get an admin to do it effectively. And I said, onboard AI Rachel. And she said her phone doesn't ring anymore. And every day she sends you, I just spoke with so-and-so, this is what they need. And now she can have her assistant follow up. So those are a few things, you guys. 5 email recruitment, sent heartfelt, story-driven approach. We talked about focusing on the story of the Alliance and making each touch point feel more like a personal letter than a sales pitch. And then I asked her to put it in a document for me so I can go through and write it. I like to write. That's how my brain thinks better. All right. Let's see what else to niche out. And then again, have your social media strategy. Think about what you need your team to post every single day. In this workspace, and you may have the same 5 to 7 themes each week. You just need different topics posted, but let your team know so you can begin to automate that. When you are telling your EVAs in your L10s, then go back, because by the time you finish your EVAs, everything's going to be ready in the first EVA, then the second one, and then go into your Sunny and plot out your social media for the week. I heard a statistic that scared me at the conference. Each of our businesses should be posting 15 times a week. Not once a day, not even twice a day. 15 times a day. Well, guess what? Our Marbleism team can handle that for us. So imagine if I'm posting, my husband's posting, I have stuff going out regarding different things. I started a new workspace just for business grants because I've learned so much I haven't activated yet, but that's a new workspace. Haven't activated, but I knew I needed one. Still grab your workspaces, you all, even if you haven't onboarded yet, because I really don't know how long Marbleism can continue having people have unlimited workspace. And they're looking at the pricing model to charge closer to the value. I mean, if they charge me $2,000 a month for all of this, it would still be worth it. So to pay $213 for the year is staggering. So still grab your workspaces because they are still playing with the model for the payment model. Okay, so that's important. All right. So those are some ways to niche down. And again, be saving all of your, use a notepad. If you have got a Mac, I think they have a version also. And you just have one for all of your Marbleism prompts. And it's crazy. There was Ty Woods, who was at the training, who's all about business grants. Do you know what she did? I just found this mind-blowing. She did exactly what I just told you guys. She started saving her prompts and people started asking for them. So she put together a $97 ebook just on the Marbleism prompts she uses, and put them by topic. And she can make thousands of dollars a day just on saving her AI prompts. People don't like to have to think again. The other thing, and the last thing I want you guys to practice doing, I know I fire hydranted you and let it come at you today, but I want you to also niche yourself by then taking that article Penny just wrote and tell her to work with Eva to design an ebook. I have noticed that their graphics, their ability to do like ebook type graphics has just grown tremendously, exponentially over the last couple of weeks. I'll show you guys this. Let's see. So what I did for this class is I went in and I asked Eva to create I asked her to create the training for this class. So this is me uploading the images to tell her what to work with. And then she made it downloadable. I want to show you guys this. And I thought I was just going to get a plain old Word document. And now she's able to do what I was having to jump into Claude to do. So it's really, really neat what you can do. All right, y'all. And so she can do a really wonderful freebie for you, whatever it is that will help you niche yourself even more. So take advantage of this. And I'm going to leave you guys with the key is, do you have the time set aside to work with your team as if they're real people? If we are not spending time weekly with our team, we can get into overwhelm even with Marbleism, because now you've got all these teams making all these suggestions and all these drafts backing up. So that's where I am right now. Like, let's work on these things. I'm at my time. I didn't mean to talk so long, but I was so excited. And I'll send out the recording because I know I just told you guys 45 things to do, but just take a minute to write down what the first next thing is that you're going to work on as it relates to up-leveling your niche, getting your story in there, and then getting that out, because that's what's going to set you apart. And then I'll stay on for a couple more minutes and answer any questions you guys have. Okay. All right. What's
Hey, Erica, thanks for all this.
Yes.
Was there anything said about copyright with things that are created by AI that you're paying kind of for hire versus, it's a little off topic, but
no, you can actually copyright stuff written by Marbleism, and the reason why is because it's a walled system. So unlike other AI that goes out to the whole brain and uses the brain of the World Wide Web, the internet, to gather information where you can't copyright, you have to say, like students right now in their footnotes have to say, this part was AI, this part was AI. What is amazing, this is your work, you are the knowledge base. And so you can actually copyright this because this is your team doing this. And you can add your intellectual property because it's a walled system. If it wasn't Stevie Wonderful, I think we'd be, it's a different story. But this is your stuff. And you can note that it was assisted by AI if you have a, ebook or whatever. But they're writing from your content.
Brilliant.
And so, yeah. And the other thing I was learning, and I'm still learning about that, but like, if you, in a court of law, if you write something on ChatGPT or put something on Claude, it's public information, which is crazy unless you turn that aspect off. And it can be submitted to court. This is private. It is not public. This is a private walled workspace, and each workspace has its own walls. So it's not supposed to blend over to other things. So you're really safe putting your intellectual property in. It's not going to put it out in the world for other people to access and take parts of your stuff. But yeah, I would copyright something I did because I made note that, but it's mine. I wrote this. It's my story. It learns your words. So you should be safe and sound there. And if you have any questions, guess what, Stevie Wonderful? Ask Linda. She'll break it down.
All right.
She's on it. Linda will let you know. What other questions do you guys have?
Okay, so you were talking about workspaces and trying to, get as many of them in there now before they start changing terms and all that. So I just simply started with putting the website for the girls program in there. So you were saying something about subtopics within the workspaces. So does each component of the program somehow needs to be in that workspace? Is that what I understood?
So what I found out is for every aspect of your business, like let's say you're just dealing with your girls program, that target market is the girls. But there's also going to be communication that needs to go out to parents and maybe the teachers. Each of those, because Sunny is going to reach out to different individuals. Penny is going to write to a different target market. Each niche of your business needs a separate workspace. So you would have...
Oh, okay. So you're saying that within that, so targeting the groups that already work with that age group is a separate subsection of that. Targeting parents is a separate subsection.
That's how I would do it because you're communicating and getting yourself in front of them differently. The post Penny would write for you or Sunny would write for you is going to be radically different if it's going to appeal to a 12 to 17-year-old girl versus that girl's parent. Right? Okay. And if you combine, you can combine them, but it's cleaner if you set up a separate workspace.
Okay, so set up a separate workspace within the target market within that bigger subset. Okay, I think I got it. Okay,
well, what I'm saying is you have two separate target markets. The parents are one target market inside that niche of your business. The kids are another one. Or maybe the teachers are third or the principals are fourth. I don't know. Whoever you need to tool language to, start a workspace that's unique about that. The other thing multiple workspaces helps is that each each stand is going to get 300 of them a month. So put them to work for you and let them be out there. So workspaces, you just literally toggle over this, hit that arrow down at the very bottom, new workspace. And every workspace has 6 AI employees that are working for that target.
Okay, I think I get it. So another question I have, because this is a lot, you're more advanced than us as always, which is a beautiful thing. But going back to basics, so does Marbleism have a basic step-by-step something? Or I know I'm going back to look at videos that you have already done previously. But does Marbleism have a YouTube also where they take you step by step through or on their website? Okay.
They do. If you go to this need help, it'll take you to their videos and everything.
Okay.
Yep, they do. The other thing, Sean, I didn't even talk about this. If you think that you work with businesses or individuals that would need this, I would encourage you to sign up for their referral program. They give a really generous referral percentage back. And then they just open a program. Like if you sign someone up, that then they turn around like, oh my gosh, I'm going to share this with all the real estate agents I work with. You actually can get a percentage. It's fascinating. They just started a level 2 commission for referrals, which is kind of neat. They always have a what's new. If you have been in Marbleism for a minute, about once every other day, you're going to see a new version. Please refresh, because they are adding. And some of it could be really small. Like before, when I went in the brain, I couldn't see more than 3 or 4 images. They fixed it. So you can now add 10 images and you can access the button. Little things like that are always upgrading. But this what's new is really neat because it talks about kind of the big changes that are coming on. The small ones just happen as you go. Like, for example, Eva can now read PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, and she can create Word documents. They've added that recently. So they are literally continually improving. So, yeah. What other questions do y'all have? Is that helpful? I know I put some new stuff on you guys, which is like, Lord, Erica, you gave us more work, but you've got this team. They are an army, literally standing at your, they are saluting you, saying, waiting for you to give them orders to execute in your business. And
So there is a question in the chat about what agent handles bookkeeping.
There is not an agent that handles bookkeeping yet. They said that there is one coming, a CFO coming by the end of the year. It should be Q4, but they said it's going to be focused on invoicing. It's not going to replace a bookkeeper. If you need, I don't know that I'm sure I'm having to redo my QuickBooks, but if you need help with that, even Excel has an AI thing now. I'm studying what QuickBooks is doing. So there isn't a agent for bookkeeping right now. Let's see. Yeah. How are mine organized? Okay, gotcha. The only thing I wish I could do is like pull this one up so it's organized from the bottom up. So as I created, the original workspaces at the bottom, and then the newer workspaces are at the top. So, Sean, I want to give you an example. So now my husband's he loves the Marvelism. So he has his speaking that he is targeted. It's all the same business, but he has his speaking that he's targeted. And then he has a men's group that he's like, wait, that's a different niche than someone who's going to book a speaker. He finally understood what I was trying to explain to him. And now he knows he needs two different niches. I mean, he needs two different workspaces. And then I add a picture or a logo so I can keep them easily separate. So yeah, that's how they're going to be organized. And I have them organized by different target market. I don't know how else to say that. So my Nate Jackson Enterprises, obviously I'm the COO there. That is a whole different niche. But my chapter meetings are different from the Alliance AI implementation sessions. And that's different from my courses. So I thought through what aspects of my business need to generate revenue and need social media and need contacts reached out on my behalf. And that's how I organize my sessions. I don't do it by email. I do it by target market. That's how I organize my workspaces and know how many I need. And again, if you think you need 3 more, I would just go new workspace, new workspace, new workspace, name it Sean's new workspace 1, 2, and 3 until you figure it out. Because I promise you, I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep these unlimited. And if I was them, I'd be like up to 5 workspaces. I charge this much, up to 10 this much. But right now it's still unlimited and you'll get grandfathered in. Someone was going to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you said they accept suggestions. So I had that same concern about workspaces having to scroll to the bottom. So maybe that's something we can put in and they'll change it. Either, you can move things up. They have the little hamburger next to it and you can prioritize. So maybe they would listen to that suggestion if I'll put it in.
That would be awesome. I think they've been surprised at how many workspaces individuals are using. I don't know that they thought that would be the case at the beginning because everybody I know has 10 to 11 workspaces. Monica, go ahead.
Hello. Okay, so my question is around the affiliate link and the payout. So is it through dub.co, the payout? Have you seen that? Okay, because I wanted to make sure that was right. Okay, because I got money sitting there with them, but also I got another email with a different affiliate link than the one I was using. Is that the same one or is it different? When they introduced the Marvelism Collective, they gave me another partner invitation link, but I'm wondering, is that the same?
That's a great question. So Monica has signed up as a referral partner, and then they added you to the next level. So you've got one for general, like first, I don't know how to say it another way, but those you're initially introducing. And then Dub generated, when they came out with the new partner collaborative, they generated a second level link. So then you can go back, or you can introduce it moving forward to your referral partners. Now they can sign up second level. I just emailed them and told them to add certain businesses to it, but I didn't have time to do all the linking stuff, but it's a secondary link for your level 2 individuals.
I don't understand. Level 2 meaning these are different offerings on this Marbleism
No. How do I put it? So, I mean, even since April, Monica, it used to be that when you referred it to people, they would get X percentage off, depending on where you are. 10% or 25 are the 2 levels. And that is like, let's say you signed up Johnny. Johnny's level 1. Everything Johnny does with his own Marbleism, you will get a percentage of that. They recently added that anybody Johnny signs up, you can get a percentage of. So the second link is for the second level. I think it tracks, but in case you need to send it to people and go, hey, can you use this link or whatever? That's what that's for. And I'm still learning about the level 2. That's only been a few weeks.
Okay. So essentially, I'm gonna use both of the links, depending on who I'm sending it to.
From what I understand, it should. Holy Spirit's amazing. I just heard the answer. So originally, your original link is for those who are signing up. It's going to register level 2 anyway. But what if you signed up somebody as a referral partner last month before they implemented that? Then you can give them the second link.
The new link. Okay, got it. Okay.
That's just what the Holy Spirit told me. I didn't know that. So I was like, oh. So that's the scenario. That's why you would need a second link, because they didn't do it retroactively.
Okay.
So they would need a link to do that. Proactively, everybody will be registered to your business level 1 or level 2, but some people may need a second level link.
Okay, all right. And then my other question was, so within my workspaces, so I have so within Life Enrichment Group, I have like 4 or 5 different Life Enrichment Group emails that I want Eva to manage, right? But when I try to set her up to have these different inboxes, it's just not taking. It's not taking the new email, and I'm not sure if it's because it's all coming from lifeenrichmentgroup.org that it's getting confused, so like I have all my workspaces, but 3 of them are connected to Life Enrichment Group, but I want Eva to manage 3 different emails, like inboxes. But when I go to
so like give me, like, one is Life Enrichment Group
.org. Like one is info at lifeenrichmentgroup.org. It's like our main one where everybody comes through with inquiries.
Are they set up as different emails, or are they set up as aliases that come to all one email?
Nope, they're set up as different emails.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say what I would do, because I don't know the answer to that. Email support at marbleism.com, and they also have individuals you can jump on their calendar. They can walk you through things. They really, really have good customer service.
Okay, yeah.
I would just ask, because they would need to get into your back end to see what's happening.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they have really great customer service, y'all. So if you ever get stuck, you can just send an email. They get back usually within an hour. And then they have people you can set up live trainings with. Just jump on their calendar for onboarding. So that's really neat. All right, good people. I think that is plenty for today. Woo! Just to get all that done, we're going to have to set aside some time, but I really want to challenge you. What I am doing is I literally challenging myself to actually keep my word to myself, to go to bed earlier, get to the office an hour to an hour and a half earlier, because guess what I can do now? I can spend time in my Marbleism, because by the end of the day, it's not working. So that's the way I've had to sit down and figure out, how can I truly maximize this incredible tool that was an answered prayer for me and my businesses. So I invite you all to do the same, but get your army moving, because they will make a difference in your business. So with that, Join me next Thursday. Feel free. I think, did I put the link up? Let me pop it up here for y'all. Put the link up. I have them all set for the next. Oh, yeah, there it is. I have them all set for the next, the rest of the month. So I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. Save your seat. Feel free to share it with anybody, even if you have different referrals. When I get to that slide, I'll just say, hey, please use whoever sent you's referrals. But I'm happy to train your people. I am not mad about it. All right. You guys got it? Let's go be amazing and let's keep changing the world. Talk to you all soon.
Bye.
You're welcome,
Thank
Darlene.
you.
I'm so glad it's a game changer. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.